long dispute that was going on between Ukraine and Russia had turned into a full-fledged war. The situation is very sensitive and very unpredictable right now. And nobody actually knows what is going to be the consequence of this war. However, I am here to talk about the relationship between these two countries since the breakdown of the Soviet Union and creation of some new nation states. If you look into the birth of Ukraine happened with many other countries after the dissolution of the Soviet Union. The dissolution of Soviet Union, many new nation states were created. Ukraine was one of them. One of the most important treaty was signed during 90s, and it was Budapest Memorandum. Treaty that was signed amongst 5 countries. The participants were Ukraine, Russia, Northern Ireland, United States, and Great Britain. The motive of this treaty was to bring Ukraine under NPT, in which she had to remove all the nuclear weapons from her territory under a given period of time. In that respect, the other countries had acknowledged the sovereignty of Ukraine. Second, they promised that they are not going to apply any kind of force over Ukraine except self-defense or the conditions as mentioned by the United Nations Charter. Third, these countries would respect the Ukraine's interest over their own economic interest. So, in short, they will not apply any such policies over the interest of the Ukrainian. Around 2004, people of Ukraine gathered on the streets of Ukraine in order to protest against their president. The context was that pro-Russian President Yanukovych and whereas pro-European President Yushchenko, they both contested elections and both of them got the equal percentage of vote. However, pro-Russian President Yanukovych managed to get into the government and made his own government in Ukraine. People did not like that and they protested against the president. This event was named as Orange Revolution. Now, this is very important in order to understand the context behind the war that is happening between Ukraine and Russia. Around in 2010, President Yanukovych got elected and he decided to withdraw from the European Union. But he had to face a lot of protest and backlash from her citizen, and ultimately he had to flee away to Russia. Meanwhile, in the eastern part of the Ukraine, always pro-Russian, separatist movement had started to erupt. And according to some media, according to the Western media, it was said that Russia is behind those protests. In Crimea, before the Russian invasion, Crimean people had opted and adopted a referendum that they wanted to go back to Russia. And after that, Russia invaded Crimea. Now, Crimea is very important for Russia in order to control the Black Sea, which I will perhaps tell in the other video. Now, let's focus on this issue itself. Crimea and the other eastern state like Donbass was in the very unique position because Ukraine because a fight erupted in Ukraine between Ukrainian government and the separatists, and these two and this tussle was ended with the Minsk Agreement Part 1 and Part 2. All of you guys who are following this news, they might note they might know the immediate causes of war that triggered Russia and Ukraine together. So I'm not going to discuss further here. The situation is very dire, and I certainly hope and pray for the civilians who are residing in this conflict zone, because ultimately it is the civilians have they have to pay the ultimate price of such war. And I have tried my best in order to understand myself that what was the reason behind. And if you find this video helpful, please share and subscribe, and also share this video so that it reaches out in the community. I'll see you soon.